So what I've got going on is some content planning and just general system management. And I have been using this app called Trello, and it has these different lists that I can put into a board. And so I'm looking at my board, and I can title these lists in such a way that allows me to create a workflow of what it is that I'm doing, what I need to do, and then what has been done. So for example, right now I could put recording a video on my project management. There, so I'm doing that right now. And once I'm finished, then I can put it over here to done. It's kind of nice. So if I haven't done it yet, I can put it over here. Although I noticed as I begin to use this that when I have more things in this to-do column, I actually end up fixating on it and this list, this board itself, instead of moving forward. It's like the more things that there are to do that I can see, the more I'm just fixated on them. And then suddenly get into this like problem solving mode that actually what happens to me personally is the more things I see on that list, suddenly I create more of the breakdown, small tasks, all the little things that go along with it. And then I feel this tendency to like overanalyze and then create more exact steps. So to me, this is an indication of a problem, because here this is supposed to help me manage my projects, not enslave me to the management part. And so B, this is telling me I'm really just not familiar with yet how to use this system for myself. So something that I'm noticing just intuitively, that is the first thing that I'm doing, is I realize, okay, well, I need to move these things out of the to-do column, and I do need a column that is all of these things, that is all of these different pieces and projects that are not yet fully organized or put into a beautiful workflow and process. And I need them to all home somewhere so that I can pick and pull them apart, kind of like separating laundry. And then choose, and then really just being able to see everything. Hopefully that's kind of what I'm realizing, is I need to get to a stopping point where I'm comfortable letting what is on here be there and go, okay, there's enough here for me to say, okay, it's time for me to move forward and do something, and move it through this process of to do, doing, and done. And so for me, it is really important for me to to have my bucket list, and then to be able to move stuff over into the to-do that are like, for example, my top 3 of the day or something like that, just so that I'm not overwhelmed. Now I'm noticing that I've just now gotten into Trello, but what I can look at is the fact that I have been, let's see, this is not it. Let's open up a new tab. Let's see if I can learn to do this. I click on checklists, I go to my top 3, and I open that up. So hopefully this is recording. But what I have been doing, which has been working for me, is this. And so I'm noticing that I'm trying to use this. I've really worked on this spreadsheet, and I spent a lot of time and energy building the spreadsheet and making it so that it's formatted in such a way that it functions and works, so that when I check something, it crosses itself off. I like that. I like to see things that are like done. That's something that I do like about a spreadsheet, is that it operates a lot more like an actual to-do list where I can scratch it off. I like that feeling. like being able to see it here. I like that I have my idea list, although it is hard if I want to remove this from my site. I can't really do that. And so then I do have my actual like task list of active things that I know that I need to be doing these things versus just the brainstorming of things that are bigger or growth zone type things. Clearly, I'm a very creative person because I can create a lot of ideas. But I do need to get to the point in my creativity where I set that aside and I go, okay, now let's manifest, right? So that's what this blue task list is for. I love it. So I have like that crown chakra, like purple, like we're bringing it in. And then I have this is what we're actually choosing to do. So as you can see here, I have my monthly videos for, it says monthly videos 1, 2, and 3 for April 2021. I have not been babysitting this list. Apparently I need to put, check my project management task lists on my to-do list, but it's almost like in my personal life, where do I do that? If it's all inside of my computer, where do I do that? And I know that it's a habit that will come more naturally when I create a habit, but I haven't made a goal to embed this new behavior into my life. So that's something interesting that I'm looking at. What are the steps that I can take? In fact, I would even say that as a task is, what would it be? It would be create a habit goal of checking task lists. Let's just call them my lists. Checking my lists. Yeah. So in this, I would even what I did is I also color coded certain things so that they would be a little bit related. Yeah. So for example, it appears like if I can remember, it appears that I yellowed everything that was YouTube related. So there's that, good for me. Over here, it looks like I had top 3. And so this would be like, what am I basically, to me, this was never just a today thing. Like these are my top 3 tasks that I'm like, these are very important, and whether I get them done today or in the next week, they have to stay in my top 3. They are my most important. My problem then gets to is where I go and I might like have a big goal that's like, this is my top goal, but it might take me more than a single day to accomplish it. And so while I am really good at then going and executing a goal, if it does take me longer than a day, because I don't have a habit of keeping a digital calendar, I am used to physical paper, like on the wall, like I see it every day I wake up, blah, 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 For me, because I don't have a habit of having a digital relationship, I don't have that cue inside of me that goes, oh, I'm going to do this. Actually just had an idea, which is, maybe I should put it over here, but I'm going to say create a habit. I'm going to say create a phone reminder that tells me to check my list. There's something like that. And maybe it even includes an image of me doing it so that it's funny and like oh, I see myself doing this, like something like that. And I'm going to adjust this to text wrap so that I can read that. Yeah, so something like that. See, as I'm processing and explaining things to myself, then I like come up with the creative solution to it. I'm really good at that. Like, look at how these are already filling themselves out, right? So yeah, I think that in talking, what I have done is I have looked at how I'm used to doing things and how once I started to digitize my way of keeping track of my projects and my tasks, I realized that I was able to do that. Like if I knew to come and check this list every day, honestly, this to me is a simple enough system to where I could be on top of myself. Now, given that it has been a problem, I have found myself not coming here. It's like I don't even remember that it exists. Like, I have to go into my browser, open it up. The thing is, I have multiple checklists, and so then the more checklists I get, the more organized I get, because my projects are huge. I'm running a business, and there's so many parts, behind the scenes parts and front end things parts, so many parts. So for me, because things have kind of, they're not necessarily out of my control, I feel like I'm cleaning a baby's diaper every day and don't even know like what my friends are up to. First year, right? Just baby shit, just dealing with the shit. I think that's what led me to go, and I've heard other people talking about Trello. I've heard of Trello years ago, never got into it. And then decided, it wasn't that I decided, it was that I've been considering already, how do I manage my content? That was something that I was already creating a list. I'm actually just going to go ahead and go back. So I was already creating a content calendar to manage the fact that I have all these different platforms, I have different styles of content, and they need to be batched and produced. And so I think going back, I definitely love YouTube. I go to YouTube. YouTube is my place. YouTube is where I go. I don't Google search things. I YouTube things. That says something about me. So on YouTube, I remember I have been looking at, originally I was looking at how do other people explain their, process of how they manage their time and how they manage their, their business, their online business, and what do they do? And what I learned through listening and watching is that, just the realization that even though I'm very inspired in the moment to, create something when I'm in the mood, the thing is though, is that I will be doing that, and then I won't have time or the discipline then or the structure to do everything else that I have to do. So the realization that I'm actually going to have to accept that my free content, my marketing, the stuff that I produce, because I am running a business and not a hobby, right? I have to batch it. I'm gonna have to, and I have to be comfortable with that. And what that means to me is that I have to get, clear and honest about my actual monthly and then weekly system for how much of my time is going into producing the free marketing content that I put out there. And looking at which ones are actually effective in return on engagement, on people signing up, on people clicking and taking the actions that I call them to, people engaging, and then looking at the content that I put out, or even just like a different variation of the same content, and looking at how are people, are they coming in, or are they going, even when it was the same thing, behind the invitation. So I'm looking at all of this and how it's working. I'm recognizing where I've done more work and time, like it's all work and time for not the results that I'm looking for. And then I'm looking at how I did all this work and I did this time, but it got me the results that I was looking for, and going, okay, I'm gonna need to maybe just say this idea actually didn't get me the results I want, and it's not like I was being paid for it. So I just want to back up and keep doing the thing that was working, even though maybe I was getting kind of bored with it. So this is something that I'm also realizing is just necessary for me in my learning process, is to try something so that I can even just confirm myself that what I was originally doing is good. And then in fact, I can get stronger from that. So anyways, coming back here, so I work with Canva primarily. And so I made this content checklist so that I could just keep track of, what am I working on? This is my up next to do, but this is literally my progress, where am I actually at? And I would update this. And I even got to the point where I without, studying, I realized I do need to not just have daily wisdom posts. And also that was a huge problem for me in March. I think that it would be good for me to reflect on that. Is I realized that people really love my wisdom posts that I put every single day. And I would it would take me an entire day or two out of a month, a day or two, just to plan and schedule these wisdom posts that go out. The problem is that people liked them, but they were not shareable. I was putting them on the inside, like I was putting them on the inside of the people that I've already brought in, and then I'm just like giving them to these people, but they would be like, oh, this is so inspiring, this is so nice, they just want to share it. And so they couldn't, because I wasn't putting them in the places where they could be shared. And so I created this big problem for myself where I'm giving this really good stuff that would be great marketing, right? And social marketing, but I'm giving it inside of a space where people cannot get to it. And so if anyone was to put it out, they would have to actually remove it, detach it from my entity, and then they'd have to share it. And I would have no trail of being able to even track or see, like, where is it going? Who's in touch with this? What is the messages that are being said over the top of my brand? Like I can't babysit it. And so I realized that not only was that happening, but I had then for a few months been training all of these people to find this content inside of this group where it won't be able to be shared. Talk about habits. So what I've had to do is accept that this isn't working as, marketing. Like, this is a lot of free labor. Ugh. Like, at the end of the night, I'm like, I either like to have 100 new people go, wow, like, I mean, yeah, like for what I'm doing, or I just want to stop. That's really the truth, is I'm bored with it. I want to do something new in my life. I'm available. I'm not just doing this because other people are getting something, maybe, question mark. So yeah, huge awakenings in my first year, like huge awakenings of realizing, oh my God, I'm doing all of these nice, right things. I'm doing the right thing. I'm nurturing, but I'm not nurturing in the way that you like open the door and let people come in. So as of literally like in the last week, I finally made the announcement, told my group, you will no longer find these inside of here. Here is where you will find them. And now I'm going through the process of unscaffolding the system that I taught myself to follow. And now I'm needing to undo it and do a new system and do it in the right channel. Which the funny thing is even though I'm clicking the same buttons, just to do it in a new place, like, if you move homes, you look left and right, it's not warmed up yet. It's weird, it's different, it's new, it doesn't feel the same, it doesn't look the same, and it doesn't get the same kind of engagement. And I can't really find it that easily, especially because with Facebook page, like, it's not like a personal profile, and it's certainly not like the group. It's just all these buttons everywhere. It's ugly. And I think that's really what annoys me about digital, is it's a really small physical, like in the room, it's a physical small space that I'm looking at, trying to like go, what the fuck? And there's just all of this bullshit in the way. So much bullshit. Anyways, so yeah, here we go. Beautiful. And I love that I did this because honestly, to me, this, going back over here to my list that I beautifully made, what I like about this is that I created it in an evergreen kind of a way, where clearly this is not tied to specific days and Monday, Friday. It's not. I don't need that. For me, it's just looking mostly at what is the channel? What is the channel? What is the content? And did I fucking do it? It's a monthly list. And I don't really know what that is. I need to delete that. But yeah, so this to me really worked for me in the beginning. And it helped me just to be able to do what I need to do. And down here in these notes areas, this is where I can put like the date span, because for me, some of these things are just a matter of like, all of these little things that I'm posting, I'm not trying to do something that is a full-time job. I am trying to do something that is just kind of thematic. And build, like I am a one-woman show. I'm not here to, and I'm not a blogger either. Like I'm I'm a teacher, so I have a job. Like, I'm not trying to be a full-time blogger. No. And so it has not worked for me to go and get advice and like to get the advice from people who are full-time bloggers and that's their gig. Because the way they do things and the way that they then plan their content is very much around that. And that is not my show. If there's anything that I should like focus on the fact of is I go, I'm a tarot reader. Like I create inspiration, or I create, intuitive, inspiring message videos. I create motivational content. And so I need to be true to that. Being true to that is also what is important for me to reflect on as far as, well, what works as far as my system. So with this checklist, this really works for me. And honestly, the more I reflect on the list that I did create in Google Sheets, which is good, it's free, it's connected to my Google account, everything's connected. You know, what's wrong with me using Sheets? Well, the thing is again, like I don't have a very good relationship with it. I don't have a consistent relationship with it. I created this in 1 month and I used it for 1 month and then I was done. Like I was like, as soon as I clicked the boxes, I was like, oh, done. You know, meanwhile, there's other things going on in my life, to be honest. A lot of stressful things. So when I'm trying to do something like this that's very brand new and there's other issues in my life that are making me question, like, am I stable or not? Like doing things like this kind of got put on the, like, it's like not as important to pay attention to, right? You know, is the food on the table? Are we sleeping? Like, is everyone okay? You know, I'm a healer. So yeah. Anyways, as I can see, I got March pretty much done, except I don't know what this is about. Oh yeah, I know what that's about. In all of this, my goal was to include events posts because this would be a new thing. We had the daily wisdom posts already going. I was promoting my monthly videos. These were the consistent posts. I did create these reminders for my practitioner group, which did not exist. So this was another new thing that I realized. I go, this is something that I need and want to be doing for them. Like I want them to constantly see that I'm here reminding them to practice. Like it's not just like a static group. And then the new thing that did not happen, that has not happened, that maybe is the one bucket that I need to add and get more familiar with is events. I need to be putting Facebook events for all the events. I don't have anything going on with Instagram right now, so this is just to be happening in the future. But yeah, and then the events should go into the community group and they should go into the practitioner group, just so that they're seeing all the touch points. And they should probably also go on my personal page, like, and in the emails. So for me, just seeing it like this is just a really good way for me to recognize what are the moving bits and pieces. And to me, when I look at this, it makes sense. All right, so as I move on, in my story, I watched some YouTube videos and one thing led to another. It got to the point where I was like, okay, actually, yes, people are talking about content planning, how they content plan, and I learned a whole bunch. And so once I learned a whole bunch, did I have anything, Canva, MailChimp, membership? Well, another thing, I'll just keep track in this video. I'll keep track of what I did do. Got that up already. MailChimp database. Let's take a look, see here. It's so funny because I'm looking at this, I'm going, do I remember making this? Not really. Oh yeah, this was then, so basically, oh God. It's another thing, I'm just not used to using clicking and then I wish there was like a way to just view and not like be able to do anything for a second and not have it. Anyway, yeah, right, yeah. Okay, anyways, let's just make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So I think that what I'm seeing here is that I realized after I had my Canva, which is basically just social media posting, and I do it all from Canva. Canva doesn't go to MailChimp, and MailChimp is an email thing. And so for me, I created a spreadsheet then to checklist what are the emails, which segment, this is a good idea. I need to do this. Which segment is it going to? What's the CDA? What's the call to action? What's the date that I'm sending it or scheduling it? And then my actionable notes, like update the template, use the template. There's all these new things. And some of these things, by the way, are things that are brand new that I'm just now like getting a grapple on. And so when I'm really honest, I'm like, it's almost like I'm realizing I need to make a list of what are all of the new skills? What are all of the new strategies? What are all the new processes? What are all the new things that I'm trying? I'll even call that, because to me, the word trying is I'm testing it out. Like these are things that may or may not use, but there are so many new things. Like even the fact that I'm using these spreadsheets, this is all new. And I'm going, like if I'm going to try to make too many of them, right? Like just because I'm trying to get organized, look at what that's doing to me. I think the thing that I'm really noticing is that the more places I'm giving myself to fill up with information, then that's more of a job. And it causes me to want to fill in the blank, because that's the kind of person I am too, is I'm a fill in the blank kind of a girl. But I do like this. I like seeing that there's this list here and there's these like identifiers, like just to keep track of like, sister, like what's your bottom line? Anyway, let's keep moving so I don't get too trapped in here. Limited campaigns. Oh, right. So to me, these are the campaigns that I've scheduled them all out. Like they're just going to be the same, like the join the group reminders. And then a stat sheet. This is good to keep track of my stats. So to me, this looks like all MailChimp. This is good. This is good. We have stats. Good. Spring 2021. So this to me will be, you know, April, May, June. Limited campaigns. Got template. I don't know. This is something that I have to remember. Why did I make this? Like, I guess it was just about like, did I do it? And then there's this, because I have my intuitive community circle, and this is something that is a regular, because it will continue to go year round. It's not for a chunk of time. So okay, so I get it. So regular MailChimp campaigns are campaigns that I guess are kind of like evergreen, like maybe that's not the right word, but they will continue to go again and again, and they will all have a template because they're going to just keep going again and again and again until someday in the future when they want to be changed. These are just something that's very specific and short, a beginning and an end. Yeah, notes. Interesting. Okay, anyways, I can see it. So I have this MailChimp database. Let's close it. And then we have a membership database. This is one of the first databases that I made, which I'm really proud of. And then as you can see, I don't know, I think I kind of stopped. Well, at least I say I stopped, but really I had just pre-filled it out, so I can self credit for that. That's nice. What I don't have though is that, so this is my income report. What I don't have on here is that the fact that I have received a donation, and I've also received a new subscriber. So I want to like really get a grip on keeping track of these things. And I also want to like include a column when I see myself, when I get that email, because their emails come through. I think just because I'm beginning is I want to have a click box where I check it, and maybe that's just my relationship is I saw it come through. Then I can delete that email. I don't know. Like, I also don't know about like legalities of like keeping the records. I don't know. Anyways, I am seeing that my monthly income for April has plummeted. So this to me says that this is the month where things have got to change. I'm going to leave this alone, keep moving along. Here's my EWOL student records. God, so tired. Paid she's full paid. Like, that's just it. So I didn't update this. Anyway, we're moving along. And then we have membership records. Right now, technically, all of these people are members. I've given a free membership. I've done a trade, but I don't think I'm gonna put her on here because to me, this is like part of it is just like an actual registered person. A trade is behind the scenes. No money has happened and she hasn't even been coming, honestly. Canceled, this person canceled, no one else is canceled, blank. Oh yeah, this interesting just to see, like for me to see, you know, all the people signed up. Did they confirm on Zoom? Did they even attend? Look at how few, like, and then did they watch the replay? Did they respond? Nothing. Just amazing to see the numbers. It's very much like I was taught with, you know, grassroots recruiting. Like you recruit, half the people who say yes will even show up. Half the people who show up will even, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's just like that. Okay, so we've looked at this list. So this is my database for members and accounts. Get out, get out. Here's my top 3. I looked at this. This is good for me to remember, but don't close it. Here's my Google Calendar. It's freaking me out. Oh God, I think I got rid of Trello already. Good job. I don't know. How do I get out of here? I just love how there's like no way to get out. It's just really ridiculous website. One thing is for sure, I'm starting to really not like MailChimp at all in the way that it's organized. It's just really not me. It's not me. It's set up for someone who this is their whole job. Like, no, I need something that's really simple. I really do. I really need something that's really simple. Unfortunately, I've learned to use MailChimp and to be friends with MailChimp. So I just don't like the fact that it's really changing because it's making it less friendly to someone like me who is still using the free version. Like, oh, anyways, I'm tired of all that. I'm really tired of all that. So let's get out of here. Let's get out of here and let's open up Trello. Where the fuck did Trello go? Here it is. So yeah, I looked at these. I have these, which are a whole nother, this is just a whole nother ballpark. Let's go into Trello. So then I heard after a monthly calendar, blah, 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 Trello. So here we go. And of course it opens up to this, which is my learning Trello page. And to me, it's already to the point where there's so much and it goes further to the right that I'm just like, I don't work like that. At least not now. I don't think like that. I love the idea, but unless I can see it all, it doesn't really work for me. It really doesn't work for me. I would want to be able to minimize it, and I can't tell how to do that, which is okay. And we're just looking around. The one thing that this does do, though, what is true, the one thing that this Trello does do is it integrates what I was doing with my checklists. We'll go here. So in Trello, I'm able to have my lists. As you can see, I'm able to have my lists. The thing that I can't do in this list, unless it's clunky and bullshit, is in Trello, I can move stuff back and forth like that. I don't have to type it again. And really just the check mark that I don't get to enjoy is that it just goes in the done column. The other thing that I do like about Trello here, so what I like about the checklist is I can like just go like that. What I don't like about this is that once it checks off, it's like, okay, but then sometimes I want to like move something, you know, I just want to move something. Trello does that. Trello lets me move stuff really easily. There is just not an easy way to click it and like check it off. So I can't think of Trello as a checklist. I have to think of it as a process. That's what's going to help me is it's not a checklist. It's a process. And so it's almost like I have done over here. And then doing, and then to do, because I think it's almost like I think of it like that, is like I just want to get it out of the way. And because I'm so action oriented, I am someone who thinks about like I am doing. Create workflow system in Trello. So I'm kind of like doing that right now. So it's like I can even just identify with myself, or like just be real with myself and go, is what I'm doing right now matching what Trello says that I'm doing? Or am I watching a YouTube video and going, what am I doing? What is that? What is the goal of what I'm doing? Am I aware? You know, am I researching? Am I solving an actual problem? Or am I going off on an imaginary problem because I just don't understand and I don't feel comfortable? And so I'm just trying to learn more instead of sticking with getting good at the one new thing that I learned. So, and letting myself be a beginner at it. So I think that's part of it, is just realizing that I could go and learn how other people are really doing it and be like, oh, that's such a great idea, but that really might not work for me. So I'm a little bit exhausted with all of this. I've been talking for 40 minutes now. And I'm getting used to Trello, because the truth is that's what these lists were stopping me. So it was too hard for me to have the list, but then have all of the content there in front of me, and have to keep typing in stuff. I think that's part of it. Is I do realize I have a lot of stuff that's just repetitive, like with the Canva content. And what I haven't yet done is I haven't said, okay, well, this list did work for me, but in order for me to do it again, it's like I have to keep recreating this wheel and have to recreate all this stuff, when really to me it's just, what is this? Can I create a thing that I can keep moving back and forth? That way it's in the column of the thing that's happening, so that this is about, it's about what is happening. It's almost like the lists are these boxes then, and that all of these things are the things that move around inside of them based on whether or not they're done. Yeah, that's a really good way to look at this. Is it's taking a to-do list and it's moving into a, where is the doing of it happening? All right, so I think I've made sense to myself. Trello is something about taking my list of to-dos and it's unpacking it in such a way that's saying, where are you at in the process? This is the process of it getting done. And since I have my own relationship with myself and how I function with information, it's almost like there does need to be a place for me to store stuff that, yeah, like, yeah.